if I'm suffering this much with everyone I know and everything I know, what is the average woman in this country doing? I shared that with Julie and I said, I want to do something to help women. And she said, I've had the same vision. And so we set off to create a course. But along the way, Sara, we got sidetracked to your event. And we went to your event saying, we're not buying anything. You walked on stage and I grabbed Julie's hand. I said, we're going to buy everything she has.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we're writing a book.
Yeah. And so what I want to say today to everyone is that when you align with Sara, miracles are going to start to happen in your life. And you also then start aligning with other people who really share your vision and your mission. And it's very important for women. Many of us have pre-perimenopause had a lot of life challenges. It's really important for us to be seen and honored and respected in community.
Welcome to the show. Oh my goodness, so happy to be here for this episode. You're all in for a huge treat today. So, we are doing a live studio audience. We are going also live. Hello to everyone on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that you are listening and watching. Welcome. I'm Sara Connell. I will be your host today, as always, here on The Rise. And I'm so excited because you are going to meet two absolutely phenomenal, incredible women today that are not only launching their book, but they are changing the world for women in a very specific way. So this is really an exciting time, an exciting experience. I hope you are ready to take a deep breath, open your hearts, your souls, your minds as we get ready to have this powerful conversation today. So I'm going to bring up the amazing and beautiful Miss Julie Fedeli and Pam DeRose in just a moment here. And I'm going to actually do an unboxing live, ladies, because I saved this version of your new book to do this so we can show people how it's done. All right. So welcome if you are joining us on all the different platforms, wherever you're watching and listening. We're so thrilled to have you for this episode and what we're going to be talking about today as part of our ongoing series of bringing entrepreneurship to publishing, also really what it takes and what it's taking to be a great thought leader in a time such as this. And you're going to meet two women today who absolutely epitomize and embody exactly that. So I'm going to bring up Julie Fedeli and Pam DeRose, and please say hello and welcome and give your heart and your love to these incredible women you're going to meet from Midlife Upgrade and are going to open your heart and blow your mind. So Pam, let me just get you up here. Let's see if the tech will cooperate. Of course it will. There we go. So Julie and Pam, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sara. Thank you.
We just love you, Sara. It's so amazing just to see you on Zoom. You are you have been an incredible guide, an angel, and you have changed our lives without a
Truly.
doubt. So we would not be doing anything if it weren't for all the support and just magical fairy dust also, and not just the powerful magical fairy dust that you share with us. So your gift.
Well, it's been the greatest honor, the absolute greatest honor to take this journey with you. And I'm so thrilled that we were brought together for this important work because you are changing the lives of women in midlife and beyond. You're also showing younger women and younger humans on the planet, not only who have reached that point of midlife, which I still look around like, how am I in midlife? But I am. And so it was like a shock to my system. I saw a greeting card once. I might have mentioned this to the two of you. And it said, inside every older person is a younger person saying, WTF. Like
100%.
what, because I feel like I'm 20, 29 maybe. And that's great, right? It's like age is a thing that we made up here. It doesn't have to mean anything. And there are real issues that come up, especially for, women that weren't getting talked about that weren't getting addressed, where people weren't feeling supported, that you are changing the game. And so everyone, I want you to understand, Julie and Pam, they've written this book, Midlife Upgrade. You have a movement. It's not just a book, it's a movement. And we're leading women starting movements in 2 weeks in New York. Julie and Pam, you've been to our events before. You actually have done this. You have created a movement around your calling and your mission, which is to help improve the passion, the success, the fulfillment, the purpose, the vibrancy of women in midlife and beyond. And I'm so grateful that I get to look to you, and you're the guide to us in this way. So I want to have you both talk a little bit about the movement that you've created. I mean, and I want us to get in, because this is a thought leadership show. I do want to get into the ingenious ways that you have used, pulling together a community by going to the influencers in your space, building community, and hosting events. So this is about, we're not just putting a book up on Amazon, people, right? Julie and Pam identified, I remember those moments when we future polled like the influencers that you were going to reach out to, and the menopause. You guys, they're part of this movement, the menopause, all right? The posse of doctors and urologists and gynecologists and physicians and other people in the medical space. And you're coming in as the thought leaders in this space, the coaches in this space, to really provide. Doctors can't do all that work. They needed you. And there wasn't like that sense of, in the same way, community, even though these were very prominent people who are on Oprah and all this stuff. So take us back to why you came together around this. Just, I know that's a big question, but maybe give us a minute or two on that. And then I want to build from there at what you've managed to manifest as you get ready to launch.
Well, I mean, anyway, we really started, we really both had fire swamps as we went through midlife and menopause. And we have a beautiful origin story, which I'm going to let Pam share. But I mean, we're sitting here as I'm 62, Pammy's 58. We have been through it. We walked through it. And we both have 35 years in health and wellness.
Yes.
And even with all of that wisdom and experience and all of our connections, we still suffered a lot. And many things changed for both of us in midlife. So anyway, Pammy, share the origin story because it's awesome.
So post-COVID, or actually toward the end of COVID, Julie hosted an event called Love, Sex, and Menopause. I've known Julie since about 2012, but hadn't seen anybody, of course, during the pandemic, but went to her event. On the way out, she asked me about orgasms, and I said, yes, I have them all. And she said, we must have lunch. And during lunch, I shared, I had a horrible perimenopause experience. Like, there's 60 symptoms. I had almost all of them. And I've been health coaching and eating clean and exercising. I take really good care of myself. And I finally was on the cusp of getting some of my problems solved. But really, my thought was, if I'm suffering this much with everyone I know and everything I know, what is the average woman in this country doing? I shared that with Julie, and I said, I want to do something to help women. And she said, I've had the same vision. And so we set off to create a course. But along the way, Sara, we got sidetracked to your event. And we went to your event saying, we're not buying anything. You walked on stage and I grabbed Julie's hand. I said, we're going to buy everything she has.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we're writing a book.
Yeah. And so what I want to say today to everyone is that when you align with Sara, miracles are going to start to happen in your life. And you also then start aligning with other people who really share your vision and your mission. And it's very important for women. Many of us have pre-perimenopause had a lot of life challenges. It's really important for us to be seen and honored and respected in community. So Pammy and I, these miracles started happening. And the first was, by chance, we ended up at Sara's event. We're both Chicagoans. How we had never heard of her, who even knows how that happened. And once we did, it was game over. So we started writing our book, and then all these little synchronicities started to happen. Pam is MBA and, like a fire. We both have a lot of fire. We're both yin and yang. But she reached out to a woman who was just beginning to be a leader in the menopause movement. Now, you have to realize we met Sara 3 years ago, around this time, right? 3 years ago.
Yes.
And there was no midlife menopause movement happening.
Right.
So Pam reached out to this leader. She DM'd her before her DMs were kind of not available, right? And the next thing you know, we're in relationship with this woman, and she's coming to Chicago, and we started hosting these beautiful events. And backstory, Pam and I both hosted events, both of us. We were very I hosted underground goddess salons, and I went to an event at Pam's house where she made all this glorious raw food with 50 women. So we have been doing that. We have been gathering women, both of us, as part of sort of our health and wellness, movement ourselves individually. So we hosted this amazing event for Kelly. The first night sold out in, wasn't it 4 days or something crazy, Pammy?
Yeah, you guys sold out. I think it was, and this is Dr. Kelly Casperson. If anyone's, wants to follow, like this is now the menopause movement. The menopause is nationally known. These are women, again, who've been on Oprah. These are women who are leading the biggest medical practices in their space as urologists or gynecologists and OBs and all of these things. And so, and so these are the people. And so was she the first, Pam, that you reached out to, was Kelly?
So I read her book, and I thought this book was written with a great deal of just blunt honesty, authenticity, and humor. And I thought, I want to know who this is. I look her up. If you don't know who she is, she has crazy hair. And I thought, wow,
Yeah.
this girl is really crazy. And then she happened to post on her Instagram, she's coming to Chicago. And I DM'd her, want to host you for a book talk. And she said, here's my cell phone number, call me. I was like,
Unbelievable.
what
And
is
Pam
happening
said-
here?
Pam
So
said, I'm going to get her number.
I'm going
and
to get
I
her
was
phone
like,
number.
no
I
way.
had her phone number within a couple hours. Next thing you know, we're on like an hour-long conversation with her. We ask her for 2 nights. We're like, we've originally just thought one night, but then we thought, okay, can you be here for 2 nights? It coincided with the Menopause Society having their annual conference in Chicago, and we sold out 2 nights of events. And it's funny because Kelly said, I didn't know who I was talking to. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was going to be in somebody's basement. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we don't roll like that. We do not. So we ended up having a wonderful dinner. And then the next night we had a wonderful mocktail party. And Kelly introduced us to all of these thought leaders in the menopause space. And Julie and I have always been about supporting other women. So not only do we want to support the leaders in the midlife and menopause space, but we want to support women who are in the midlife and menopause space struggling, with their own issues. So that's kind of how this started.
Pam, I want to I want to like playbook this a little bit for everyone watching and listening, wherever you all are. This is a model. This is a masterclass, what Julie and Pam did, not only in the action. So I want to do the inner and the outer, if that's okay for both of you, because I want to acknowledge what you were willing to do, who you're willing to be in this space. So the first is, Pam, you're a manifesting generator, Julie, projector, right? So that is if anyone knows human design, that's this yummy combination. It's like the, yin yang coming together. You're both brilliant. You both always led with generosity. So I want to pull that out first. Everyone from Zig Ziglar to Rory Vaden to all these people say, if you help enough people get what they want, all of your needs will be taken care of. That's my paraphrase of what many of the dudes have said about generosity. Okay. You live this. This is not a thing. It's not a pretending to be generous with a transactional agenda. It's truly like, I want women to have help. Like Pam, you said, you and Julie have been in the health and wellness space for decades, and what felt like you went through hell physically, hormonally, all these couldn't get answers. There wasn't good information. This is before all these doctors had written their books, before you'd written your book, and there wasn't good information. And so this is where a movement starts. It's like, I want to make a change and I want to better the world in some way. And then you did something about it. So I just want to first acknowledge you led with generosity. Then you made declarations. Pam, what I heard you share in that story, and I know because I was here for this, and I had the privilege of working with you both in Thought Leaders Academy, like we're going to get her number. I'm going to message this person. Many people get my word download. They get the download to call someone, to message someone. And you think, oh, I want to bother them, or they'll never write back. And I'm going to make up a story that's about my worth. You didn't do it. You sprung to action. You messaged her. And the third piece of this that's so important, everybody. Julie and Pam didn't message her and say, oh, Kelly, we'd like to know you. Can we pick your brain? Can we talk to you about, can you imagine? That will never work. What you did instead is said, oh, we'd like to host you for a book talk. Now, what author, I want to see a show of those of you in our live audience, what author who has a book coming out would not want someone in a city you're going to say, I'd love to bring people together and we'll set everything up. We'll provide the food, the venue, the people. Just show up and talk about your book. I met Kelly at that event and she said, oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever, I cannot believe. So if this is your strength, not all of you have the connections like Julie and Pam have made in a certain city, but everyone has some way that they can be valuable to the people of influence who could help you build your movement. And you both didn't hold back. You were courageous. You were proactive. You made it easy for her. She was so grateful. She was so good. So you're thinking, oh, this is Oprah doctor. Meanwhile, she's like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that someone would put this together for me. So I just get to show. I don't want to create an event. I don't want to find people. I don't want to market it. I don't want to find a venue. She just wanted to be able to share her book. And so I want everyone, if you just do what Julie and Pam, find out what your strengths are, because some of you watching are going to have different resources, different magic, but you've got magic that can be a gift to someone in your space. And so now you haven't just done this once, right? You've done this multiple events. In fact, there's another one that the new, tell us what's happening this week, because I'm out of my mind that I'm traveling to Miami, so I don't get to be there at this one in person, but tell us.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I just want to say, it has taken a lot of courage and chutzpah, right? And it has taken up leveling every time, right? I mean, Pam had my support to text Kelly, and I was like, oh, I'm like, inside, I thought, you're never going to get her phone number, but then she's this Manny Jen, so she got the number, right? So we have really, so anyway, Menapolooza is this Sunday. It's a 6-hour event with 13 different speakers. And at our last event, with all the big honchos, which we just did in April, who are such fabulous, generous women, we're all here for the M Factor film. Anyway, Pam and I, at the end of that event, we're like, let's go big or go home, and let's have a Menapolooza. So we have designed this Menapolooza that's happening this Sunday. And again, these extraordinary people are coming. And this time we actually have 3 men who are having the conversation.
Great.
Because at our last event, we really realized, we wanted some way to invite men into, into this space. And they are men who honor women and men who want to end the suffering of women. So that was kind of our application process.
Like, are you mission aligned about, so everybody, let's pull this apart and look at a couple other brilliant things, Julie and Pam. Before you launched the book, we teach in, the Monetize Your Book Club, we teach in the 90-day bestseller, all our thought leader programs, that you get to leverage your book before it's published. You don't have to wait to host an event, to be a speaker, to create the coaching program. As long as you're at mastery of your craft, you both already had that. This is work you had lived. This is hard fought wisdom that you'd gained. These are resources and connections that you had. So how many events did you do before? Because the book launch just happened.
Right. June. Right.
June.
In the summer. So how many you did? The M Factor movie premiere.
Before,
and the Kelly Casperson 2-day
events,
right.
yeah.
So
and
everybody
it actually
hear
worked
that.
out that our book didn't come out until June. I mean, we had it, we were having some troubles getting the book put together and finished, but the timing ended up working out so well, because at the M Factor, we connected with truly, some of these top leaders in the menopause space who were more than willing to give us beautiful blurbs for our book that just gave us such credibility. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then they were doing the unwrappings on Instagram, tagging us. Like it's just been
Crazy.
incredible.
Okay, so I want everyone to see this. So you don't have to just shove your book in the mail and send it to people that are, I bought a different copy because I wanted to show this real time.
Oh,
Okay, so look how, so I want to just give everyone ideas. You hosted 2 events, you started connecting with the top leaders in your space. It worked to your advantage to do that before the book was published because those people who have the national credibility, the name recognition, the I've been on Oprah and the Today Show and all the things, endorsed the book, unveiled and unboxed. This is called an unwrapping or unboxing that we're going to do right here. I haven't done one in our show ever. So yours is the first one that I'm doing. And I saved this because I was like, I'll get another copy for me because of course I had to get right into it. So everyone look, so we have this beautiful photo of our authors, right? So Julie and Pam have co-authored this. If it's, your book as a single author, you've got this gorgeous photo and a handwritten note. Okay, everybody, it's worth it to take the time to handwrite the note because someone knows it's not just, oh, I shipped it from the warehouse. If you have the bandwidth. And then, of course, because it's you two, it's gorgeous, power color, beautiful sparkle. I love sparkles, right? So we love the sparkles. But again, who doesn't want to get this in the mail? All these people, the influencers that you sent it to, and it's, again, beautifully wrapped. And then we have this cover, you all, if you haven't seen the book. And Julie and Pam, if you want to drop the link, because the book is out now. So we wanted to wait to have you on
Oh my God.
get the book.
We have to have my tech goddess. Can you drop the link?
Yep,
Yes.
I will drop the link.
So look at this book, everyone. It's so lush, so sensual, so beautiful. It's like Georgia O'Keeffe meets Mama Gina. Like it's so yummy. Okay. So Midlife Upgrade, you waited, you leveraged the book before it came out. This is what we teach here. This is the new model of publishing. You had events, you connected with the top people in your space, you were generous. You didn't ask them for a blurb. You invited them to an event that you put on that would give them visibility. And then they wanted to stand behind this. They wanted to promote it. So the link's in the chat for those of you in our live audience. We'll put it in all the places where you're all watching elsewhere online. Okay, so now you've got Menapolooza. So Menopause, Alooza, Lollapalooza's big music festival. This is Menapolooza.
You say it's like Lollapalooza, but with ovaries.
With ovaries. There you go. Lollapalooza with ovaries. And you've got men and women presenting and attending. And make sure too, if you could pop the link to the event, if anyone is in Chicago or wants to come to this on Sunday.
It's also being live streamed with a
Oh, yes.
And on demand for
because
people
so
who can't
many of
even
them-
watch the live stream. So
They
we've
have
got multiple
international
ways to do this.
audiences, our speakers. So yeah, sorry.
Even better because you've got people from global audience. Okay, so make sure we have that link so everyone can participate that wants to either because you're in midlife or know someone who is and want to be supported and end the suffering like you're talking about, Julie and Pam, or you want to see how authors who just launched their book are doing these events, right? You can see Julie and Pam's event to see it done in real time. I can tell you the strategy is powerful, but you can go see someone do it. So what else do you want us to know, Julie and Pam, about you're bringing people to coaching, it's a movement, right? It's not just a book. It's a movement. It's events. It's connecting with leaders. It's being generous and you're helping women. What are you most excited for coming out of Menopolooza?
I mean, we probably both have different answers, but I would say that the community that comes from these events is incredible. We just had a message today from a woman whose friend is losing her mind, thinking that she's depressed and having all these problems. And this girl said, I bet you're in perimenopause. You need to talk to Pam and Julie because she's heard our stories. So I think getting out there in front of women, telling stories, sharing expert advice. I think women they're craving for that. They're looking for community. They're looking for connection and friendships. And, we love to see that happen at our events. Women feel heard and seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll continue to go big or go home. That's the way both of us roll. And, whenever we're together, I mean, Pammy said it the other day. She's like, together, we're just magic. When we're together, people just stop us and start talking. I mean, things just happen, right? So, I also really feel like I have a download here, so no one thinks like we had a jillion dollars creating our book cover and everything else. We're very scrappy. We have a lot of chutzpah. We really have been very, very resourceful in making our movement happen. And I think that has actually been very appreciated. We're very real and authentic, so it's been appreciated by actually the women in this movement who are the leaders, who are also very real and authentic.
Yeah.
So that's been, we've worked it to make it happen. So
well, let's go there for a minute, because that's a big deal, right? You're going to keep sharing the message. You're going to keep growing the movement, go big, go home. The three of us have even shared stories that the lack of information is so epidemic, where people just are told, I don't know, I had fertility issues, 7 years of, 8 rounds of IVF and everything. So I didn't know what was happening with my hormones. I didn't even know what was going to happen in midlife, because I was already like at 30, not on normal levels of anything. And I've had multiple doctors. These are Northwestern, top of the top, literally say, and I said, do you know where my hormone? I don't know. Literally just like it's a black box. I mean, that is hard if you are having symptoms, whether it's insomnia or bloating or brain fog or whatever it is. I've been lucky, I think, because of a lot of meditating every day, that I haven't had those symptoms. However, I have had, because I have very low estrogen, super low estrogen, but I don't have a good answer from anyone until I met the two of you on, should I look at hormone replacement? Should I look at bioidenticals? Should I not do anything? Because I had all the fertility. That was the reason as one of the problems was I wasn't producing, estrogen normally, right? So the point is, you all identified a gap in the marketplace. I want everyone listening to understand this. Julie and Pam are called to be movement leaders and thought leaders in the menopause space, midlife upgrade. You all are watching and listening we're all here called to bring a puzzle piece, right? We're all called to do something, but doing the same thing and hitting the same note that everyone is hitting is not going to make the sound that most of us want. The two of you identified the gap in the marketplace. What isn't being? The gap was smart, health conscious, happy to research, read books, work on themselves women were unable to get helpful information to, whether it was get out of symptoms, like Pam, you said you had 58 or 9 of 60 possible symptoms, or just people who want to feel awesome as they age. I'm lucky to not have had those symptoms. Maybe I got it all out of my system in the fertility years. I don't know. But, I still care deeply about the health and state of my body, my longevity, my quality of life, my brain health. I'm obsessed with brain science, right? And hormones affect our brains deeply. So you identified a gap in the marketplace and you were willing to play big. You were willing to go to the influencers without, Julie, like you said, you didn't have a trust fund. You didn't have an investor. You got sponsors, right? Something we teach, those of you that coach with us. You got sponsors to fund the events. You were able to attract top people by being generous. None of this was just sitting there. I'm a self-made movement leader, right? You are self-made movement leaders. And you don't have to have all this big stack. Yes, you invested in coaching, you invested in mentorship so we could, put these pieces together, and you were able to get resourceful. And so I honor you for that, because it's really easy to go, oh, I would do a movement. I'd be a movement leader. I'd write a book, if it was handed to me. You created it. You co-created it with the universe. And look what's happening. You have Menapolooza, people coming from all over the world, virtual and live. It's incredible. So I want to acknowledge you and honor you. It's easy to fantasize. It's easy to talk about either what's wrong and broken and just complain about the state of the healthcare and you did something about it. So big. So I just had to love on you for a minute because this is the difference. And in this day and age now more than ever, we're going to see a bigger and bigger gap between people willing to go for it and play big and be the real deal and be generous. Like you said, people appreciate your authenticity. People appreciate that you are resourceful instead of just either, oh, it was easy, who cares, or just not doing it at all, which is very easy to do. You all both were doing other stuff. You didn't have to start this movement. So what do we need to know when you think about going into Menopolooza this week? What do you think the single biggest in physics, they call it the hard problem, which is how to explain with science the fact that there's consciousness. And I don't think it's a hard problem at all because my answer is because there's consciousness and there's source, and I'm a big C person, and that's fine. But you are like, what's the hard problem in the menopause space still with great doctors speaking out more, still with you? Like, what's the hard problem?
Access
Yeah,
and
access.
information.
Yeah, there's one menopause provider or a physician who's at least educated in menopause for every 30,000 women in the United States.
Mhm.
And that's probably, I mean, I would probably say it's 1 in 50,000. I mean, we live in the city of Chicago. We have access. People come and ask us, who should we refer to? We have a very short list.
Mhm.
It's a very short list.
They still do not training for menopause in medical school. So all of the top people who are trained on menopause went back on their own dime to go learn how to treat women because they have the compassion to want to help their patients. There's still a lot of work to be done. And the more we learn, we know that we just don't put a lot of funding dollars toward women's health in general, but then, perimenopause and menopause specifically gets like a teeny bit of funding for research.
But we're very loud now, and there are many women who it's just like, I say we're the subversive movement because they're like, don't mind the old ladies over there making a lot of noise because it is changing. It is definitely changing, and in the past 2 years, everything has changed. So our intention with Menapolooza was like, this needs to be loud. It needs to be a celebration. And then we're doing another event. We've been invited to be the hosts for the M Factor 2, which is a documentary about perimenopause. And we are the hosts for the city of Chicago. So we'll be hosting that as well. And
Okay.
so it's really, we're committed. We just feel very, 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 very fortunate. And Sara, honestly, it began that day we sat down in the seats and looked at each other like we're leaving at lunch, and we started to cry when you walked out, So without you, honestly, truly, Midlife Upgrade, all of it wouldn't be here. So
100%.
Eternally grateful.
Yes.
Well, and look at the way it circles around, right? When you lead a movement, everyone wins. I'm going to have to cry a little bit after we get off, just in gratitude that I have had the gift of being in the journey and being a support for this movement. I want everyone to just, if you can take a breath with Julie and Pam, it's worth it to summon the courage. It's worth it to not do it alone. It's worth it. And what a great way. We're 14 days, 15 from the next Women Starting Movements in New York City. And what a full circle experience to know that we were brought together at that exact event when it was in Chicago. And now I feel like this is the kickoff to Women Starting Movements 2025 is the two of you, Menapolooza, showing how it's done, doing the book, leveraging it before it comes out, being generous, finding the gap in the marketplace, making it a movement, not just an idea, right? Not just a book, not just a talk. The world is already better for your boldness and your absolute, what do I want to say? Refusal. That's the word. Refusal to be silenced, to be dismissed, to be, told, oh, again, just because the doctors aren't trained in it doesn't mean the movement doesn't get to happen. And this is how it's done. It's like mic drop, masterclass, Julie and Pam, they did the playbook. Look at this, look at what's happening. And this is just the beginning. We will have you back. I'd love to have back another conversation maybe in 6 months to a year, because my hunch is that you've probably gotten to about 2% of the impact of this movement that it's going to have through Midlife Upgrade.
Well, I have to
No,
say, we trademarked Menapolooza. This is the first of, we want to do more of these.
Yes. Yes. And it can go on different cities and all the things. So, congratulations. We're so excited. All of you listening, watching, wherever you're taking in this episode, just know that Julie and Pam are showing you didn't come in, you weren't writers, you weren't thinking, oh, I've got this, oh, I'm going to figure this was not on the radar. And you stayed in your yes every step of the way. You took the next courageous yes to make a difference to end this suffering. So thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you,
Ending the
Sarah.
suffering. That's what we're about.
Mhm.
So everybody, this week, your homework, okay, coming out of this episode is to really go inside and be asking yourselves whether you're joining us in New York City or not, you'll be with us energetically, and ask yourself, if I was going to take this thing that's in me and make it a movement, what would it look like? And I hope you will listen to what Julie and Pam have shared today, get their book, check out the event. You can attend virtually this Sunday, which is so exciting. Menapolooza, congratulations to you both.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. We're very grateful to
We
you.
love you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your wonderful support.
Thank you.
And blessings on everything that you're creating. We need you.
We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. I am beyond honored that you choose to spend your precious time here. And I'm guessing that, like me, you believe everyone deserves to rise. So to keep this content absolutely free to absolutely everyone, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe to the show and share this episode with a friend. We'll be the rising tide that raises all ships. Thank you, thank you, thank you.